I was gonna talk about something else because I had to come home from work. I had like a family emergency to tend to, but hopefully everything works out. But with that being said, so apparently, now this is just a rumor. This is just the rumor stages, everybody. But I do feel the duty to report this to you guys because as a dude that covers boxing, and I'm somewhat of what you call a street conversationalist, a street journalist, I feel like, it's my duty, to let you know the possible news. But I know it got to be a catch to this because if so, if this is true, then once again, it appears that Jake Paul has outsmarted us once again. He got everybody to tune in to watch him versus Mike Tyson. According to reports, 60 million people tuned in to watch him versus Mike Tyson. So now it appears he could be possibly headed for a showdown with his brother. When I say the spectacle surrounding this is a storyline within itself. This is WWE, but of course, people are gonna tune in. Now, I won't be there to cover that because basically Jake Paul's team pulled the whammy on me. They was deceptive and how they issued out media credentials, and then when a lot of the media got there, they wasn't allowed to do their job, which is to have access to the fighters and everything. So they pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes, you know. But apparently, this could be happening. I believe they're going to be on the same card, but I believe that they're going to fight separate opponents. Now, keep in mind, Conor McGregor has been tied to Jake Paul for a while. Conor McGregor already said if the numbers are big enough on the check, he would do it. And we know Jake Paul will continue will continue his carefully matched, orchestrated fights. And then Logan's part of the WWE, so whatever. But nevertheless, once again, just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. Once again, people's curiosity is aroused by this in case this is in effect going to happen. This is supposed to take place on March 27th, which is a Thursday. And according to reports, this will be made for streaming live on Max, formerly known as HBO Max, which is the same company which is under the Warner Brothers Discovery umbrella. Now, keep in mind, I reported 2 years ago that HBO was considering getting back into boxing. So, if this stands to be true, I was right. I told y'all. Now, keep in mind, I was one of the first people that reported that HBO was going to get out of the boxing business. But now you've been hearing that HBO is interested in occasionally bringing back boxing. They're not going to do it on a regular basis, but if there's something out there that they feel like they can turn the profit off of, that they can get people to tune in to watch, then apparently they're going to be all in. And I think with Turkey Al Sheikh's involvement, and I don't think he has no direct involvement with this, but I think this could open another pathway for boxing to become mainstream again. And then maybe it can open up the doors for basically places like Showtime and other platforms to reconsider bringing boxing back. See, I'm 50 years old. I come from the wide world of sports when boxing used to regularly come on NBC, ABC, and CBS, and we want to bring that back. They tried to do it with the PBC, but the PBC, they refused to make matches that people were clamoring for because you had Al Heyman trying to outsmart everybody. And it tremendously backfired on him to the point to where he lost pretty much all of his TV deals. And that's just the bottom line. You just got to keep it a buck. But this is very interesting. This is very interesting if this holds to be true. Now, once again, you guys, I have to be responsible in my journalism and say this is just only a rumor. Even though Jake Paul tweeted this himself from his official social media account. But I feel like there's a catch to this. But if in fact he plans on fighting his own brother, like I said, just because of the storyline itself, brother to brother, and if this is an actual fight and they actually go blow for blow, because actually both of them have a license to fight professionally. But if in fact true, and let's just say people get their money's worth, let's just say it's a rating success, then who knows? Down the line, you may see people calling for brothers who are in boxing to fight each other. And then people going to be like, why not? So here's the thing. Once again, the Pauls are setting a precedent for, well, basically in boxing, you have to fight everybody. And that includes possibly family members to get to the top. Now, what you could see, if this holds true, you go see guys say, oh, well, my brother's in a different weight class. So, because keep in mind, people were clamoring for the Klitschko brothers to fight each other. And both Vladimir and Vitaly said they would never fight each other. But this is interesting. This is very interesting. You heard them. And I just got to tell you, I was talking to my brother Too Raw, and we had a conversation about this. The Klitschko brothers, they just stunk up boxing. Not because of them being white, white Eastern European, whatever you want to call it. It was just because they just didn't have no personality. If they had the personality and the swag of Caleb Plant, let's just say they could have carried boxing. But the Klitschkos, they were just an eyesore to watch. Most of their fights were incredibly boring. When your fights are boring and then you don't have no personality, that is a recipe for disaster. So I don't want to hear nobody coming on here, people just was hating on them because they were white. Nah, no, they just were boring. They were boring. That was just the bottom line. They were boring. And you just have to be truthful. You have to be truthful about that, because I know that's what people are going to say. And then you had Triple G, who pretty much fought nothing but cab drivers and Lyft drivers, which, by the way, I'm going to do a story about that lady who basically is suing Lyft because basically the person would let her get in their car because apparently she was too big. But we'll talk about that later. Well, a lot of people, Hamza, if you tell the truth, they'll say, oh, you just didn't like them because they were white. Nah, that didn't have nothing to do with it. They just were horrible to watch. They were just horrible. That fight with Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko, that was one of the worst fights I ever saw in my life. That fight was horrible. When I say it was horrible to watch, I'm talking about, it was a stank fest. Of course it is. Well, one thing about Usyk, he fights, but he doesn't give you boring fights. He fights. There's a difference between sticking up the joint and then not providing entertainment value. And the Klitschkos just couldn't do it. They just didn't do it. The best part about the Klitschko brothers is when they lost fights. When Corey Sanders stopped Vladimir, RIP to Corey Sanders. Tragic what happened to him. Unfortunately, he was shot and killed in South Africa. Unfortunate for him. But that was the best part of boxing, when they lost. And like I said, no shade to them, no hate, but you just got to tell the truth. They were horrible. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Jimmy Butler. I'm going to do a live about Jimmy Butler. because I feel like this is one of those videos where you just have to go live because, man. But I'm on it. Trust me, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm definitely on it. I'm definitely gonna address the whole Jimmy Butler situation. But yeah, like I said before, um, the Paul brothers just seem to outsmart everybody. We wanted them to go away, and obviously they just won't go away because they keep reinventing the wheel. Even though this stuff is gimmicky, but they come with new and improved gimmicks. Because at the end of the day, we have to tell the truth. Back in the 90s, we had to watch a guy that basically became a professional boxer, basically fighting dudes on a TV show called the Tough Man Contest, where you basically had Butterbean, who you could make an argument was a complete fraud, the king of four rounders. And then Butterbean got exposed where he fought a 50-something-year-old Larry Holmes. That should tell you all you need to know about Butterbean. I think Larry Holmes was like in his 50s when he fought Butterbean, and he beat Butterbean with ease. But Butterbean constantly was being put on TV, you know, constantly got heavy promotion behind him. And it worked for a while too. It worked for a while until he actually fought a real fighter. I'm talking about that man got matched up with taxi driver, warehouse worker, production worker. I'm talking about mortician. I mean, he fought nothing but 9 to 5 guys. So we've been seeing this for a while. So with that being said, if this turns out to be true, well, once again, your boy Tam was right, and I told you this a long time ago. I heard that HBO was looking to get back into boxing. Yeah, that's true. All right, you guys, just wanted to give you an update. Be back later with more. Gotta clean up around the house and let the phone charge, but I'll be back with more heat. Definitely gonna do a live about Jimmy Butler.